What's up, YouTube? Welcome to another episode of the Upland Show. Today we're bringing you hopefully a quick video. Sometimes we go on our rants, but other times we keep it concise. So today we're bringing you two attributes, personality attributes that, if applied, will help you be more successful in the game of Upland. And those are 1, strategy, and 2, patience. Let's actually start with patience. What do we mean by having patience in Upland? I help a lot on the Reddit community in Upland. Like I'm involved there a lot. I see a lot of the posts there. I see a lot of new players being frustrated, like, hey, I joined the game, I bought these 5 properties in Chicago, now what do I do? And nobody's buying my properties, okay? And I see that a lot, and there is, in some instances, when you buy a new city that's not fully minted out yet, it's going to take some time usually for the floor price to rise and to make some money in that city. So that is why sometimes it does take patience. There's not really a tried and true time frame, because there's always new influxes of players joining the game. Sometimes a city is bigger than another city that gets released, so it takes longer for it to sell out. For example, Chicago is kind of crazy because it's a tier 1 city, but it's taking months and months and months for it to sell out. I didn't expect for it to take it this long.
I agree. I mean, Chicago is world renowned. It's just probably just a function of the quantity of supply. There's just so many properties.
There's like over 500,000, whereas a lot of them are under 200,000.
Is that really over 500,000 properties?
Over 500,000 in Chicago.
Wow.
So it's a lot of plots of land that are selling for, $5 on average, 5,000 UPIX or more per piece of property.
And it's probably a good strategy. It's a long play, but as long as it's cheap, why not go in there and buy a whole bunch of those?
Exactly.
And just sit on them for a year. It'll probably take a good year, I would imagine, before all those are sold. Maybe 6 months, maybe less. I don't know. I'll tell you what, I have seen activity pick up in Upland dramatically over the last 90 days.
Drastically.
And as that continues, then obviously Chicago's going to sell out faster than what I anticipated. But strategies are the same. Hold and have that patience and watch that floor price rise and your wealth rise. Yeah.
So and that's part of one of our, that's part of the strategy mindset, right? So one of the first principles we wanted to talk about is or strategies you can use is buying the floor and selling the floor. And what do we mean by that? So let's show Chicago here on the map. Let's actually go to Marketplace Analytics. If you didn't know, Upland has this on their website. If you go to Community, if you're on the home page and you hover over Community, you click Marketplace Analytics, and then you can scroll down to Unminted Properties, okay? You can sort by city, so if it loads, we'll be able to go to Chicago, and so we'll click only Chicago, so it's only going to show us Chicago properties, and this is already all the ones that are unminted. If you click this mint price toggle in the top right of the chart here, you click it again and it will show the cheapest ones. So the cheapest one you can mint in Chicago right now is 4,588 UPIX. And so what Vince is saying is it's probably a great strategy to go and buy all of these cheapest ones, because look, if you were to come buy all of these until it reaches 4,600, you now just bought the next 6 cheapest properties that could ever be minted in Chicago, and no one will ever be able to mint one at a cheaper price.
That's right. That is the floor right now in Chicago. It's $4.58.
Exactly.
Right. That is the floor currently. Whereas Probably in, let's say, 5 to 7 days, that floor will be, you come back, you look at this exact same page, do the exact same sort, and the floor will probably be, what would you say,
Yeah,
550?
it'll be probably closer to 5,000. Now these are FSA properties only. When you have true selected up here in the top right, I can do false just to only show non-FSA properties. So this shows what most players in Upland can buy once they get past that pro mark. Once they get past 100,000 net worth, they can buy these. So I'll bet this floor is rising drastically fast. In fact, I know that just a few weeks ago there was about 90,000 properties remaining. So that's, I mean, we're selling like close to 10,000 properties a week or more.
Wow,
in
really?
Chicago.
So theoretically, in 5 to 6 weeks, Chicago should be sold out.
Yeah.
So at that point, once it's sold out, then definitely the floor will only continue to rise, probably even more dramatically fast, right? Because at that point, it's not just a function of people consuming the lowest price of unminted properties. Once everything is minted, now it's up to the market to decide what that floor price is going to be. And my guess is once everything's minted, the floor price starts to travel a little bit farther up faster.
Because FOMO goes up. Now all of a sudden there's people like, I never got a property in Chicago.
Right.
Whereas when there's like thousands you can mint, it's like, I'll get one later, So FOMO goes up. I see that a lot. Also, it's just, I think as soon as the city sells out, people still are buying. Like, there's new players coming in every day who want to own like maybe a few properties in Chicago. So it's going to constantly rise each day, at least by a little.
You know what I think would be cool? So right now, understandably so, Upland, the team at Upland, they will hype a city when that city is about to be dropped, when it's about to be released. And then once it's released, maybe there's a couple more events like, okay, now we're going to let you know what the collections are or whatever. There's some after release hype about that city, but not much. And then it's on to the next city, right? Like, it would be cool if Upland every now and then created some kind of, promotion or something like that around a city that has everything minted already, just to see what that would do to the economy of that city and the value of the prices. So again, if like obviously San Francisco, everything is minted in San Francisco. If you own any properties in San Francisco that are for sale, my guess is you're either getting offers on it or you're selling them rather quickly now, because it seems like San Francisco is in high demand. But if the game were to do something right now in San Francisco, be it some type of treasure hunt or some type of partnership or something like that, where it really puts focus on San Francisco again, now that everything's minted, like, what would that do to the demand for properties in San Francisco?
It definitely goes up. And in fact, the first two cities that are gonna allow businesses will be San Francisco and Fresno.
Really?
And that's coming this month. So I think you're gonna see those shoot up drastically just from that, just from the hype around Block Explorer shops opening up in those two cities first.
Okay, so everybody, you heard that here first. San Francisco and Fresno properties may be something that you may want to take a look at, given the fact that there is going to be something that's of increased value coming to those two cities in the next couple of weeks, and that is these marketplaces, right? These blockchain.
Exactly. And
whatever.
If you want to go to Fresno, for example, if we hover over Fresno, all of Fresno is sold out, right? So that marketplace analytics we were just looking at in Chicago wouldn't apply here, because you can just hover over the whole city like this, and you can click here. Let me take off our camera here. In the bottom right here, if you click this property button and you're hovered over the whole city, it will show you the cheapest property in that city. So you can see right now you could buy some for $6.25, $7. that's another valid strategy. If a city is already sold out, let's say you join the game today, you just buy these like 5 properties or whatever. You drop $25 or whatever, $30, and you buy those properties. I think you come back in another 4 months or so, and you check that same floor price. I think you're going to be able to sell those for $10 a property, right? So you do that with a big enough amount of money, and you do that enough times, you're really, it's a simple strategy to increase your profit in Upland.
Yeah, and if you're listening and you heard what Loyal Doyle just said, where if you buy those 6 today, come back in 4 months and look at it, and it's doubled in price, somebody may have listened to him say that and go, double in 4 months? That's so long in crypto world, right? Because everyone thinks that you can just 10x like overnight, like some of these Shiba Inu kind of things or whatever. But again, I have to make the point, with those crypto projects that go 10x within a week or overnight or whatever, you also accept the volatility of the peak crashing,
Exactly.
whatever that is. So,
and that could be 3 years before it comes back if we go into a super bear market. Right?
Yeah. So the point is that 4 months may be a little bit longer than what you would like, but patience, right? Because in 4 months you've doubled your value. And you do that again, and you're older, but you also are wealthier. So it just takes patience.
Yep. So the next strategy we want to jump into is collection speculation and minting collections. So there's 2 types of city releases in Upland. There's vanilla and standard. The past 3 or 4 pretty much have all been vanilla, meaning when the city is announced, it doesn't say what the collections are going to be, and it's all the players are kind of speculating. They're going on Google and researching, hey, the Bronx is coming out. What's the most famous street in the Bronx, or what are the top 3 streets? And then you go buy properties on those streets.
Yeah.
Or like we already released an episode on what we think some of the speculation we had. That is a valid strategy. It's kind of like gambling a little bit there, because if you hit it right, that is where you can 10x your money overnight.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And we saw the initial hype of the Bronx. Some people had like 20x on their properties.
Unbelievable.
Just because the hype right then and there. So another one we have is to join a node or building project, and we've announced our own node in Glenview and Oakland. If you want to learn more about that, I will put a link up in the top left above McSqueeb. I worked on the last video.
Yeah.
Which popped up right above you. It's the first time we've done that. So yeah, click that link if you want to learn more about the Glenview node. And nodes are a great way. In fact, let's go back to let's go back to Chicago as an example. There are certain cities, like most of the cities are not sold out, right? If we zoom in, you're probably going to be able to find, a lot of them are sold out, but then there are some that is still going to have a ton of properties available in them. If I can luckily find one. See, like this one has a lot more available, right? But there's certain cities that the community has kind of gathered around and said, we're going to turn this into a node. If you don't know what a node is, it's like a community building project where a lot of players in the community are buying those properties, and they're all building buildings using Spark in those neighborhoods. Portage Park is one of them. And if we just zoom in right here, we saw that. Here, let's just zoom out like this far and check the floor price. Okay, $3.50 you can buy a property right now on the secondhand market in Chicago. But if I zoom in on Portage Park and just kind of make sure I'm in the center here and check the floor price here, 17,000 UPIX, which is a property that player could have bought for like 3,000 UPIX. So you can see what happens when people join nodes. And you'll probably see, if we zoom in here, more buildings on a lot of these. You'll probably find buildings more often because people have started, you see that,
Yep.
People have started build. Another one is in the O'Hare. Is it out here? No, I think it's right here. The O'Hare neighborhood is another node, and this one is a lot smaller, so this one should get built out pretty quick. In fact, up here, I know there's like a lot of building going on. So, pretty cool. So you could see, and if we check the floor price here in O'Hare, I think it's hard to even find any for sale. Look, 75
Okay, so how does one
million.
find a node to participate in?
So join Discord, we'd love to have you join our node in Glenview and Oakland. Our neighborhood is going to have hopefully a similar effect, and it already has. When I announced the node, you could have bought properties at like 12,000 UPIX a property, and now they're at like over 20,000 UPIX a property in only
That's cool.
a few months.
So anybody could start a node. Anyone could say, hey, Discord, I'm starting a node in this neighborhood.
It's really just starting your own community of friends, or if you already have other friends who play Upland, you can start your own node. There's nothing. Upland doesn't have to approve that it's a node. This is the community who's gone and said, we're all going to
invest in this one area.
Invest in this area. That's and
cool.
Rise the floor price of that area.
That's cool.
I'm pretty sure Upland has said that they might for these nodes, like for the neighborhoods that get built up the fastest, they may even turn them into like community built collections, because the community hyped behind it that the game is like, okay, we'll give boost for owning a property in that neighborhood because the community has kind of gathered around it. And it would be cool if they even planned that for cities. Like, we're going to release 80% of the collections, but the other 20% will kind of be determined by the community's hype around certain I don't know.
No, that's cool. I mean, I think I remember saying in a previous podcast, I remember saying it would be cool if the community could create their own collections. And I think that's what you're just saying is what they're doing. As a node really is this, it's in a sense that same thing. It's like creating.
It's a little bit
collection.
harder because you can't, like the example you brought up was like famous skate parks in a given city.
Right.
A node only really works right now in the neighborhoods that are in Upland. It would be hard to be like, hey, this property over here in this neighborhood and this one and this.
Gotcha. Yeah,
but
that makes sense.
Maybe that's a cool idea for a node. Like, what if we made one up of like all the addresses that start with the number 33 throughout the whole city? You know what I mean? And you could just turn that into a node or whatever, you know?
Well, I mean, obviously the game did that with Santa Clara when they said one of the collections in Santa Clara was any building, any property that is the headquarters to a semiconductor corporation or something like that. And everyone's like Googling like semiconductors in Santa Clara.
Exactly.
You know, and running there and, you know, buying up the properties. But yeah, man, I suppose you could probably do it that way. That'd be cool.
I remember they did one, I think it was during Genesis Week, that was pretty cool, where they're like, if you own a property that's on 21... Yeah, 2121. Is that what it was?
Yeah, it's 2121.
Yeah, okay. That's what it was.
So everybody was finding anything with an address of 2121. And all of a sudden, those properties like...
Yeah.
To the roof.
Yeah. And I remember we each got a few of those, but that was crazy. I think that was in Chicago, actually. But yeah, that's kind of... I think we can wrap it up. Again, we want to repeat the main two attributes you should focus on are having patience. Sometimes things are going to sell overnight all the time in Upland. Sometimes Vince and I have had properties we've owned for months that we've marked up for double or triple the cost that take 6 months to sell, and other times they only take a month to sell. It's hard to know what determines that or the speed at which it will rise, but at least for us, the price has always gone up so far in Upland.
It will always go up. I mean, I have not seen the price start going down on anything.
Well, because no one's going to list their properties for less than they paid for it unless they're cashing out and they're selling for USD. Which is really rare, because even people selling for USD a lot of times are getting double what they paid for it. If they're just patient, even triple, quadruple what they paid for it, if they just wait for the floor to rise.
Yeah.
All you have to do to sell it for USD is sell it slightly cheaper than the next one being sold for UPX. It's not like you have to drastically discount your property to get money out. But
Cool, man.
you want to close this out?
I would just say that if you have more additional strategies that you think are valid, put those in the comments. If it's worthy of a video, we would love to cover it. If any of you also would like to share your particular strategy on the show, we're open to having somebody dial in and listening to their strategy, and which could be kind of a fun series for the show, is to have other participants, other game players, participate in each one of these episodes and share their tips and tricks.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for watching, and as always, we hope to see you in the next one. Peace out.